This is from a New York Times story about A'ja Wilson and a signature shoe that came out last week. And it says, you know, this is a study in racism and fame and how they can't, for some reason.
A'ja Wilson has sparked major controversy after suggesting that Caitlin Clark's skyrocketing fame isn't just about her talent, but about her skin color. In a bold and widely discussed statement, Wilson implied that Clark's marketability is tied to her being white, igniting a heated debate across the basketball world. Some say A'ja is exposing a hard truth about racial bias in sports marketing, while others argue it sounds like jealousy aimed at a rookie who's earned her spotlight. Either way, the conversation has shaken the WNBA, and fans are choosing sides fast.
The reason why it's taken so long for her to get a signature shoe and her shoe won't sell is because of racism.
Wilson, a two-time WNBA MVP and face of the Las Vegas Aces, voiced what many have been whispering, that black players in the league don't get the same marketing push or media attention, despite putting up elite numbers year after year. While she didn't name Caitlin Clark directly in the quote, the message was clear, and the timing couldn't be more pointed. With Clark landing a massive Nike deal and dominating headlines as a rookie, Wilson's words hit a nerve, not just in sports circles, but in cultural conversations about race, equity, and visibility in women's basketball.
Blaming everyone else for your history of huge embarrassing failure. This refusal to accept responsibility for the fact that this league has been pretending to be in business for 30 years and has still never turned a profit. And I say pretending to be in business because if the WNBA were operating like an actual business, this league would be bankrupt.
And then came the Nike controversy, adding fuel to an already blazing fire. As Caitlin Clark's signature Limitless collection sold out within hours, and her face appeared in national campaigns, critics began to question whether Nike was showing blatant favoritism. Why haven't other black stars, MVPs like A'ja Wilson or finals champions like Breanna Stewart, received the same marketing push? Is it just business, or is there a deeper bias at play? Suddenly, what started as one athlete's bold statement has turned into a full-blown reckoning over race, recognition, and respect in the WNBA. This is the woman who shattered the NCAA scoring record. She made Iowa women's basketball must-watch television. Her games broke viewership records. And now in the pros, she's bringing that same energy. She's filling arenas, dominating headlines. And yes, she just signed a reported $28 million endorsement deal with Nike that includes a signature shoe. That's right.
And so I'm quoting from the New York Times. Mr. Powell, the analyst, said Nike's recent struggles as a business and its overhaul last year were instructive as well. With Nike's stock price falling and cultural relevance slipping, its board announced the abrupt retirement of chief executive John Donahue in September and said Elliott Hill would replace him. Mr. Hill has spent 32 years with the company before retiring in 2020. I think we would have seen the Caitlin shoe a lot faster if Elliott had been at the helm, Mr. Powell said. His predecessor just did not appreciate product and the value of endorsement.
A rookie getting a signature sneaker. So the big question is Caitlin Clark's fame just about her race, or is it because she's simply that good, that electrifying, and exactly what women's basketball needs to break into the mainstream spotlight?
Black women can't be corrected. If you do, you're racist, you're sexist, you're a coon, you're a sellout. Black women can only be worshiped. And so Nike is worshiping A'ja Wilson. And Nike's not doing things in its own best interest. Here's A'ja Wilson, a 6'4" female basketball player who's completely unrelatable to most young girls and most men. She's 6'4". And I'm not ripping her for being 6'4". That's not her fault.
A'ja Wilson isn't just a star. She's a generational talent. She's not just one of the best players in the WNBA. She's arguably one of the best ever. With multiple championships, MVPs, and Defensive Player of the Year awards under her belt, she's proven her dominance time and time again. She's put in the work for years. And yet, she's never received the same marketing spotlight. No multi-million-dollar endorsement splash. No viral Nike campaigns. No signature shoe. For many, that's not just a coincidence. It's a painful reminder of how Black excellence in women's sports is often overlooked, while others are fast-tracked to stardom. And when Aja sees Caitlyn, a white rookie, walk in and immediately get the full media treatment, you better believe there's frustration. It's not just about the game, it's about the glaring disparity in how women athletes are valued. So when Aja says, there's a reason why Caitlyn is more marketable, and it's not just basketball, she's not just calling out one player. She's speaking to years of systemic inequality in how Black women athletes are treated in the media, how their stories are told, how they're marketed, and how they're often left to fight for the recognition they deserve. It's a conversation that goes beyond basketball, touching on race, power, and visibility in sports. This is where things get even messier, because Nike is right at the heart of the backlash. While Caitlyn Clark just launched her Limitless collection, which sold out in hours, consistently proving their talent, yet when it comes to endorsement deals and brand recognition, they've been left in the shadows. The question now isn't just about Clark's rise, it's about why Nike and other brands have consistently overlooked the Black athletes who've carried the league on their backs. It's a pattern that raises serious concerns about how race influences who gets to be the face of women's sports. Why has Nike never put that kind of energy behind Black WNBA stars? Is it simply a calculated business decision, driven by sales data and market research? Or does this lack of visibility reflect something far deeper, a long-standing racial bias within the sports marketing industry, where Black athletes are often overlooked in favor of more marketable mainstream faces? The questions that Aja Wilson's comments have raised go far beyond the WNBA and the players involved. They tap into a broader conversation about racial representation and inequality in sports marketing, one that many athletes have silently wondered about but seldom dared to publicly address. The reaction to Aja's bold statement has cut through the basketball world like wildfire. On one side, fans are rallying behind her, applauding her for speaking out and calling attention to what they see as a systemic issue that's long been ignored. They believe Aja isn't targeting Caitlyn Clark personally. Rather, she's courageously shining a spotlight on how Black women athletes have been treated differently when it comes to endorsement deals, media coverage, and overall recognition. Her message resonates with those who feel that for too long, the contributions of Black athletes have been downplayed, while white athletes have been given a fast track to stardom. Supporters argue that this is a matter of equity, not just for Caitlyn Clark, but for all the talented athletes who have been passed over in favor of the marketable image that corporations like Nike often push. It's about addressing a disparity that affects the entire industry, from the top-level professionals to the up-and-coming stars who are trying to break through the noise. The issue isn't just one of perception, it's an issue of who gets access to the opportunities that will elevate their careers and allow them to make their mark on the sports world. This conversation is long overdue, and while it's creating a divide, it's also sparking a necessary debate that could force change in how women's sports, particularly Black women's sports, are marketed in the future. This is about making sure that when the WNBA and its stars are promoted, it's done fairly, with all athletes receiving the recognition they deserve for their talent, hard work, and contributions to the game. But on the other side, Caitlyn Clark's supporters are pushing back fiercely, accusing Aja of playing the race card and undermining Clark's hard-earned success. They argue that Caitlyn's rise to fame isn't about race, it's about her undeniable talent, her fearless swagger on the court, and her ability to perform when the pressure is at its peak. For them, Caitlyn's meteoric success is a testament to her hard work, determination, and the sheer force of her skill. She's earned every accolade and endorsement based on her performances, not the color of her skin. To them, Aja's remarks seem like a challenge to Clark's legitimacy, reducing her achievement to a simple racial narrative rather than acknowledging her abilities and contributions to the game. Supporters of Caitlyn also argue that these comments, while well-meaning, could harm the unity that the league is striving for. The WNBA, which has seen substantial growth and attention in recent years, is finally gaining mainstream recognition, and some fear that this public division between two of its brightest stars might set the league back. The focus, they believe, should be on supporting each other as the league continues to rise, not creating unnecessary rifts. The question now is whether this controversy will help or hinder the progress the WNBA is making in the public eye. Both Aja and Caitlin are now being asked to clarify their positions, and so far, neither has walked back their statements. This has only fueled the fire, as the debate over race, marketing, and success in women's basketball continues to simmer. The divide between the two players seems to grow with each passing day, turning what was a simple discussion into a larger conversation about representation, visibility, and equality. As this conflict intensifies, the WNBA's battle for more recognition and respect in the sports world has only become more complex.